welcome to the Level 20 Lounge in Bethel Park. We're here tonight again for the Level 20 Sports Line. I'm Mike Migliori, Chip Hayner, Smoking Jim Frazier, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. We've got a great show for you tonight. We have three extraordinary young ladies come up to talk about their talents, and we have two of the greatest amateur boxers in Pittsburgh history that have now started their pro careers. We're going to have them come up and talk. We're going to start off, as we always do, with What's on Your Mind. Al, what's on your mind?
Here's the boxers in the house, Sammy and Andreas. Hold it, wait. Sam Sr. gave me this, 2 weeks ago? What is this? Who can? All right, then what's this other one you guys are twirling all the time? And that wasn't what's on my mind, but make sure you're at the Ross Straver Ice Garden, because this will be probably on the air tomorrow night. We're going to try to get it up there so people see this. It'll be up on YouTube. If we can get it out on YouTube, we'll help to promote it some more there. Make sure you're out there Saturday night at the Ross Straver Ice Garden. We're getting a nice picture. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Devin. Since I like promoting things, another friend of mine has an event coming on Sunday the 25th. You guys come out here for that at Peter's Place. $35. Smoking Jim, can you help me a little bit there? It's you'll see the Steelers beat Cleveland. That's the first thing. We need to get on a winning streak again, okay? There's 50-50 raffle tickets. You can win laptop computers, iPads. Here, look at all the things. Contact Howard Hanna, 412-831-3600. Talk to my man Bill Russo. There's a nice jacket. Here's some of the things you guys can win. Come on out there. You get free food, buffet. It'll be a great night, and it's for a great cause there. So it's a Children's Free Care Fund. That's another thing to check out. After Sammy and Andreas win, you guys can come out there and party the next day. Now, here's what's on my mind. This is day number 65. Now, does anybody know what that means? There's been no NHL hockey for 65 days. Now, they're talking right now as we speak. They had a meeting started at 7 o'clock. I'll take any bets. Who thinks the season's going to be canceled? I'm still hopeful. Maybe somebody will blink and cooler heads will prevail. But the talk is they're trying to work out that 50-50 deal. Here's some of the facts. There's $3.3 billion that the owners received in revenue. Players' salaries and everything amounted to $1.9 billion. Now, there's increase in cost, and I'll give you a few numbers. There's $700 that are actually hard costs for the owners to put their teams and games on, from paying electric bills and everything else. Well, if you do some of the math, there's about another $700 million that's unaccounted for, and they've said they lost $100 million during the preseason and all these games. So their math doesn't add up. The players know it. If these figures were true, they would have said it back in July. They didn't bring these numbers out till later on how much they're losing and all the problems they have. So maybe they'll have a deal after this, folks. That's what's on my mind, Mike.
Thanks, Al. Smoking Jim, what's on your mind?
Hey, thanks, Magic Mike. I'd like for everybody to welcome here to Level 20, the greatest boxing trainer ever been around, Muscles Healy. Give a big hand for Muscles. My very good friend, Magic Mike, always talks about the BCS and the SEC conspiracy. And if you look at the numbers, the rankings that just came out, Notre Dame is ranked number 1. Alabama SEC school is ranked number 2. Georgia, an SEC school, is ranked number 3. Florida SEC school is ranked number 4. So again, Magic Mike, you're right again.
I'm telling you, Jim, last time I was wrong was I told Noah this storm is going to blow over.
And where is Bill Cowher when we need him? Where is Bill Cowher when we need him? Listen, Bill Cowher, when he was the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, always had a good young quarterback backing up. When Bubby Brister was the quarterback of the Steelers, Neil O'Donnell was the backup quarterback. When Neil O'Donnell was the starting quarterback, Mike Tomczak was the backup quarterback. When Mike Tomczak was the quarterback, Cordell/Stewart, a.k.a. RG3's daddy, was the quarterback. When Cordell Stewart was the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was backed up by Touchdown Tommy Maddox, and when Touchdown Tommy Maddox was the starting quarterback, he was backed up by the greatest quarterback in Pittsburgh Steelers history, Big Ben Roethlisberger. Hey, listen, Mike Tomlin fired the special teams coach right before the season. Hey, Mikey, how is that working out? Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Baltimore Ravens yesterday because the special teams again gave up a touchdown on a punt return. Hey, listen, my NFL Coach of the Year right now is Bruce Arians for all the great things that he's doing in Indianapolis Colts. But running a close second is legendary coach, Hall of Famer, and Steeler defensive coordinator Dick LeBeau. How in the world is Dick LeBeau with an average defense has some guys #1 in all the NFL? Look at the defensive line. Brett Kiesel, Ziggy Hood, Casey Hampton, Cameron Hayward. We ain't talking about the exactly Mount Rushmore right there. Linebackers, James Harrison is not the same since his knee injury. Woodley is hurt every other game with a hamstring. Lawrence Timmons is the most inconsistent middle linebacker in NFL history. And Larry slow of foot, well, he's slow of foot. Ryan Clark has a mild concussion every other game. And Troy Polamalu, you only see him in uniforms in Head and Shoulder commercials. You got a prediction right here. My prediction is the Pittsburgh Steelers will never win another Super Bowl until they get a Mexican player. When you talk about Super Bowl victories, who can? Mexican.
Here's your towel, Smoking Jim. Show that towel.
All right, that was enough. Everybody go home. There's no more shit. Chip? Sorry, man.
Yeah, I know. You give me a tough act.
Your mind?
You give me a tough act to follow, and Jim kind of touched on what's on my mind. Looking at what the BS poll's done to the college football rankings. Notre Dame's undefeated, so they do deserve to be ranked #1. But you look at what Alabama did last week. They played a high school team and beat them 49-0, and the same thing with Georgia and Florida. And I don't see how that they can go up in the polls when they played inferior caliber opponents when Oregon played the number 14 team in the nation and they lost by 3 points. Last week when Alabama lost to the number 15 team, they only dropped 2 spots in the poll. So the conspiracy theories are there, but it got me thinking about once that Oregon and Kansas State kind of lost and they fell down far enough in the polls. The BS was really kind of happy about that because television ratings would have tanked if it would have been an Oregon, Kansas State, national championship game. And then I hear about Maryland's going from the ACC to the Big Ten, and then Rutgers is going to follow tomorrow. And I was like, why would the Big Ten be interested in Maryland and Rutgers? These are 2 teams that don't draw any people. But the reason the Big Ten wants them is because they increase their market share because they're in 2 of the biggest television markets in the country, which is going to bring millions, probably even billions of dollars into the Big Ten's coffers. So, college football is all about the money, and I think what they ought to do now, instead of calling them student athletes, they ought to just pay the athletes, okay? Because they're professional athletes. These I was hearing about how the University of Maryland can't afford to run their athletic programs now. That's why they're moving to the Big Ten. But the move to the Big Ten is going to cost them $50 million. If they can't afford to fund their athletic programs, where's the $50 million coming from that they're going to pay the Big Ten?
BCS.
Obviously, they're going to be reaping bigger dividends, but I don't know. That's what's on my mind, Mike.
Thanks, Chip. Well, I'll tell you what, the BCS is on my mind, too. I told you last week that there is no way in the world that Oregon or Kansas State would play in the national championship game because they were never going to allow it. Kansas State, they took care of that themselves. They got blown out by a very good Baylor team that they were not ready to play, and they had a horrible game. On the other hand, Oregon, well, they fell victim to a touchdown that wasn't. The It was called not a touchdown, but somebody from the BCS gave a call to the stadium and said, hey, you need to overturn that. And they gave up a touchdown to Stanford. And then in the overtime, Oregon recovered a Stanford fumble. They decided that didn't happen either, but that was pretty much guaranteed before the game. There was no way that they were going to let Oregon or Kansas State play in the national championship game. Both these teams, which are very good teams, maybe two of the best teams in the country, have been exiled in the ratings back to about number 105, 16, something like that. All right, you've got Notre Dame, who's undefeated. You've got Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and probably LSU following up somewhere behind that. Let me tell you what, touchdown Jesus couldn't get Notre Dame. Not himself couldn't get Notre Dame through this game. This game, there won't be a call that Notre Dame gets. They have no chance to beat USC because it is already set up that the national championship game will be Alabama against either Georgia, Florida, or LSU. There's a constitutional amendment that says there has to be at least one, and if possible, two SEC games in the national championship. And let me tell you something else, Chip. They will never, ever be college players getting paid to play football or basketball. The two biggest opponents to that will be the NFL and the NBA, because there is no way that any NFL team can outpay any of these college teams. The NCAA can put up more money to keep these players than the NFL can put up to take them away. People will be redshirted forever. Nobody, like Danny Manning, who I believe played for Kansas for about 10 years in a row, you'll have all these players wanting to stay in school instead of going to the NFL or NBA.
Well, you know, to speak to your conspiracy theory, think about this one. Alabama's got 2 games left to play. They're playing Auburn this weekend, and then they play Georgia in the SEC championship game. Now, Notre Dame's playing this week against USC, so Notre Dame could potentially end up undefeated. And if Alabama wins its 2 games, and by the fact that Notre Dame isn't going to be playing anybody, I bet you they leapfrog them into the first position. It'll be the first time that an undefeated team lost its position in a bowl.
Chip, I don't care if Notre Dame does go undefeated, which is not going to be possible because the NCAA will make sure that doesn't happen. But even if Notre Dame does lose or does go undefeated and Alabama loses to Georgia, it's possible to see a two-loss Alabama team play against a 2-loss LSU team from the national championship, because that's the way that goes. Jim, how long has it been since a 2-loss team played for the national championship?
LSU.
That's right. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I guess we got all that off of our minds right now. I'd like to actually introduce our first guest.
Absolutely.
I'd like to bring up Kim Sahalski. She is a young model, actress, and she's doing a lot of great things here. We're going to let her come up and talk about herself for a while. Hi, Kim.
All right, boys.
Good evening.
Hi, girl.
So tell us, what have you been up to?
Let's see. After I graduated, I worked at Cedar Point's Live Entertainment, and I've been on movie sets, been a talent of Terry Brusselli's, and I actually work for the talent collection started up by Kevin Jacobs. I'm talent and internet scout for him, too.
Where did you graduate from?
Cal U. Bachelor's of Theater, minor in dance.
There's an alumni.
Anybody here ever gone to Cal U?
I got a general studies degree from there.
Which general? I hope not Petraeus.
What was your QPA there?
Above sea level.
How many Cracker Jacks boxes did you have to enter to get one of those?
It's a nice campus. I've been up there since they remodeled everything. And you got all those nice suites up there now.
They have a fake rock climbing wall, too. It's like 33
I didn't
feet
see
tall.
that.
Every school needs one of those.
What grade did you get in wall climbing?
A.
Hey,
Climbed up twice.
Was it above sea level?
It was awesome.
I think rock climbing is pretty much like cliff diving. You either get an A or you're not allowed.
You don't make it.
Well, you make your mark.
So you said you've been on some movie sets, but
Yes.
what movies would we have heard of that you've been involved in?
Warrior was my first time actually being on a movie set. Wasn't seen on film. I was right behind my friends who were seen on film, and I've been on set for Batman. I was on set for Won't Back Down, Perks of a Wallflower. So I'm used to a movie set.
So just recently you auditioned for Aaron and I.
Yes.
We'd probably like to use you in one of our upcoming films.
Good.
And you, like you said, you've done some work with Terry Verselli.
Yes.
What aside from the movie sets, what else have you been doing?
Just working. I've done 2 commercials for Terry, and just working usually.
What commercials were they?
I did a Galetti cracker commercial, which I'm actually seen in, and I did a commercial for S&T Bank.
You guys have questions?
With Jerome Bettis?
Yes. Well, he was in a separate one, but I was in another one.
So parallel universes there.
Yeah, after what happened at one training camp at Latrobe, they keep Bettis away from the ladies.
I bet they do.
But I actually got to about 2 weeks ago for the town collection. We did a Night at the Museum event at the Soldiers and Sailors Museum for their gala ball, and I was one of the USO performers down there. And so there was several different people down there acting as people from history. And so I actually got to be a USO girl down there. Not something I typically do, but it was for charity, but it was also promoting as well.
Well, thank you for your service for our servicemen. And thanks for coming up. Glad to have you. Would love to have you back.
Wish you the best of luck with everything.
Thank you very much. Oh, guys, football game last night.
Oh, yeah?
Swallowed French fry? Tell us what happened.
Well, you can't win them all. Pittsburgh Steelers are en route to go 8-8 like I predicted before the season started. They got some brittle brothers playing quarterback. Byron Leftwich, third play of the game, broke both ribs. And now you're going to put 38-year-old Charlie Batch in there that got a shelf life of about 2 quarters. So it doesn't really look good in 2 weeks when the Steelers got to go to Baltimore and play again.
Well, I mean, okay, well, we understand the quarterback situation. Leftwich, there was a play started. I saw Leftwich start to run the ball, went downstairs, got a drink, picked up something to eat, came back up, and he was crossing the goal line. Not the fastest guy that we've ever had at quarterback, but he scored the touchdown, showed a lot of heart to get there. But yeah, he did get injured. Speaking of rib injuries, since Ben Roethlisberger has not yet punctured his aorta,
he's in a sling. His arm's in a sling, man.
Well, that'll be till about Wednesday, and I'm sure he'll be dying on Thursday, Thanksgiving. But I bet he'll practice on Friday and play against Cleveland this Sunday coming up before he re-injures himself and does not play again against Baltimore. Personally, I think that Charlie Batch is a very good quarterback. He had a great career in Detroit. It wasn't a great team, but he was a great quarterback there. I think that he will be very serviceable if he gets to play against Cleveland. But, you know, like you said, he is brittle. He can get banged up, and there is like nobody on the offensive line that can even hope to protect him. Well, I suspect they'll run the ball a lot. And one more thing before we let Chip jump in here. A few weeks ago, my very good friend Smoking Jim Frazier said that the Steelers would sign Plaxico Burress, and you watch tomorrow, because that's going to happen. Chip?
Well, you know, part of the problem with the Steelers last night, not so much, you know, the fact that Leftwich was playing hurt the whole game, is the play calling. You know, the Steelers were running the ball, and then they get the ball down to the 4-yard line. They try to throw a fade pass to Mike Wallace, which, you know, I mean, it's third down. They could have taken 2 shots and probably run it into the end zone. They throw it to Wallace, and Wallace is not that is not his strong suit. His strong suit is, you know, getting the ball down on, you know, when you got the ball down on your own 10-yard line, you throw a deep ball, and you can outrun somebody. The field's too short for him then. But, you know, the play calling was questionable. I don't know what Haley was thinking. I don't know if Tomlin was telling him what plays to call. But, I mean, they seem to have been running the ball pretty well, and Baltimore hadn't stopped the run all year. Why we decided to pass then, it's a mystery to me.
Well, I think part of it is, you look at Mike Wallace, he disappears during the playoffs. Smoking Jim's talked about that many times. What happens when a ball's in front of you? Most receivers go up and dive for the ball. And then if you want to be an elite receiver, don't you get both feet down? How many times have we seen that? Santonio Holmes, he did that. Mike Wallace did it once before, but that was a key game. You only need one of those plays. He had every chance to do it. He didn't do it. Now, as far as Leftwich being in there, you got Tomlin wants to be friends with everybody. Take Leftwich out. If the announcers on TV are telling you, look at he looks uncomfortable. Well, of course. He probably has a separated shoulder, 2 broken ribs, and his aorta, it's leaking all over the place because everybody knows, you fighters know when you break a rib that your aorta's in trouble. So that's just a natural thing. So why don't you let Batch get in there, throw a couple passes. He does have a shelf life longer than 2 quarters. I think he could last 2 games. That'll get us to the Baltimore game. After that, we'll go back and start stacking those wins again like we need to.
Well, you know, the problem is that Tomlin, if he didn't have to start Charlie Batch, he wouldn't. For whatever reason, he's just absolutely loath to the idea of playing Charlie Batch, and I think unless they would have taken Leftwich out on a stretcher, he would have never going to get in the game last night.
I believe that Tomlin would have gone to Charlie Batch last night, but Charlie probably showed him his contract, and it doesn't say anything about actually playing. So they had to renegotiate that contract so he can start against Cleveland. But Charlie probably doesn't even own a set of shoulder pads. I don't know what he was wearing in his shirt the other night. But I'm sure that he will be a very serviceable quarterback against Cleveland. And, you know, Cleveland being the team that they are, probably won't put up a lot of competition. Again, at least on their defensive side, but they have a very good running attack, and the Steelers could be in a little bit of trouble this week too if they can't stop that attack. And Jim, speaking of the Steelers line and the Steelers players and defense, I don't know if Casey Hampton has as many faces as Mount Rushmore, but he's certainly as big as Mount Rushmore. And I think that his playing days, along with Paul Malu and maybe a couple of those other guys, are pretty much over.
Well, he went into trauma when he heard the ding dongs and ho hos were going to be gone. Well, they don't call him Big Snack for nothing.
Anytime that you have to change your off-season workout, you know, as traumatically as that, and I guess
he's going to go through withdrawal.
All right, well, again, moving on. Like I said, we have 3 great young ladies here. I'd like to bring up the next of them, Miss Miranda Schrei. Miranda is 13 years old, and I'll tell you, she is the absolute most mature 13-year-old that I've ever talked to. She's certainly more mature than half of this. Actually,
all of this panel.
So we'd like to bring up Miranda and let her talk a little bit about what she's been doing. Miranda.
Hi.
Hi, Miranda.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you do. You're involved in gymnastics, dance, modeling. Let us know what's up.
Well, I started gymnastics whenever I was about 2 years old and dance whenever I was 3. And I started competing whenever I was about 7 years old. And I've been competing ever since. About a year and a half ago, whenever I was 11, I actually won nationals for dance. And so I was the national champion. And for gymnastics, I qualified for states. Oh, thank you.
That's something to be proud of.
And for gymnastics, I qualified for states, and I was ranked one of the top 10 gymnasts in the state. So I moved on to regionals. And after regionals, I had to make a decision between dance and gymnastics because it was just too hard on my body. I'm 13 and my body's already broken. And so I went with dance because gymnastics was just too harmful. Every couple months I had a sprained ankle. So it was just too much, so I had to make a decision.
Are you happy with that decision?
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to get further with dance.
And you never had any like Olympic aspirations or anything like that as far as gymnastics?
Nah.
Okay. I don't know. There's a lot of sacrifice you got to make.
Yeah.
And you know, apparently your body's the one what has to pay the price on that.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that before a little bit, that because of the wall-to-wall sports coverage and stuff like that, gymnastics, the Olympics doesn't hold that same, draw to the kids in the United States anymore that it would in countries that don't have all that sports, where the Olympics is actually the only sports outlet for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you also started doing some modeling,
Yeah.
and we actually had a photo shoot together the other day. How'd you like the pictures?
I really like them. Thank you so much.
Excellent photographer. I recommend him highly.
Thank you. She is an absolute pleasure to work with.
Thank you.
I love love working with her. She's got great family support. I think that Miranda has a very good future in just about anything that she decides to do here.
Thanks.
Well, Miranda, what kind of dance do you gravitate towards?
Well, I do everything. I do all types of dance pretty much.
You like
So-
ballet, ballroom,
Yeah, I do that. I
ambiguity?
do contemporary, jazz, hip hop, tap, point, ballet.
Wow.
I have to say contemporary is my favorite though.
What school is this of dance?
I go to Jennifer Lee's Dance Gallery. It's in Newcastle, PA.
You can give another shout out to them because this will be on the air.
Yeah, shout out to Jennifer Lee's.
All right, a superstar.
Thank you.
Well, let me ask you something, since we're probably going to talk about this later on anyway. Thanksgiving's coming up. Who's the biggest turkey in sports this year?
Well, my dad, he does triathlons, so he's a big cycling fan.
Wow.
Okay.
And so I know more about that stuff than anything else, I guess. And I'd have to say Lance Armstrong. Because, like,
Good job.
yeah, Lance. So many people believed in him, and after all these years, he was proved a cheater. So,
Ah, okay. I don't know. They actually proved it. He just didn't fight it anymore.
yeah.
But, fair enough. Well, thank you, Miranda. Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you for having
and
me.
We'll be watching, and good luck in the future.
Thank you so much.
Hey,
Good luck to you.
best of luck. The biggest turkey in sports.
Okay. Well, college basketball coming up. No BCS, but it's time. Last year, somebody sitting in my seat told you that the Kentucky Wildcats would win the national championship. This year, I'm going to tell you that the two best teams are again Kentucky Wildcats and Indiana. I believe that Indiana will win the national championship this year. Guys, what do you predict this year?
I got to agree with you on the Indiana team. I think they're gonna be very, very strong this year. They're gonna be a tough team to beat.
Calipari's from Moon Township, Western Pennsylvania guy. Played college ball at Clarion. I'm going with Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky Wildcats in the one-year scholarship program.
That's right. If you can get a D, you can play for me.
Yeah, you don't have to be worried about being academically eligible in your second year because you're going to be in the NBA.
Well, I got to second that emotion because with Calipari he's still there, so obviously there's no problems with the NCAA. No recruiting trouble. No problems are cropping up right now. So one and done, they'll get it done with those players. One more year.
Yet. Everywhere he's been, he's gotten
That's
sanction.
my point. He got the second year in.
Not yet.
Well, I mean, like I said, Indiana and Kentucky, they're probably the two top teams, and picking Kentucky's not a bad pick. Forbes magazine did an article on the highest paid athletes in the world, and 3 of them played for Kentucky.
Well, don't count out UCLA. That's a little. If you guys are a professional gambler like I am, you can win a lot of money this year on UCLA. Just keep it quiet. I don't want to.
Hold it, I lost 3 houses. Smoking Jim, I lost 3 bet the houses. But I did win 4 bet the houses, so I'm ahead of the game.
Jim can't keep a secret.
And this is going on the air live, so think about this, folks.
Well, their cherished player somehow overcame his NCAA problems.
That's right.
So
That's
he
right.
So, apparently UCLA has the same pull with the NCAA as Gateway does with the WCIL.
Ben Howland, greatest
Yeah,
coach
but
in history, brother.
unfortunately, Gateway didn't pay the referees enough to help them overcome Woodland Hills 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
And I
what
knew
are you
I'd
doing,
keep
Steve?
going. But now we're on the subject of high school football. We got the championships coming up on Friday. At Heinz Field. There's a lot of good matchups. There's a lot of really amazing young athletes that are going to be playing this weekend. Just a couple to keep an eye on. Tyler Boyd from Clairton. Clairton may set the state record for consecutive wins. They've tied with the Central Bucks. Tyler Boyd from Clairton may set the state record for consecutive wins. They've tied with the Central Bucks. Tyler Boyd from Clairton may set the state record for consecutive wins. They've tied with the Central Bucks. Tyler Boyd from Clairton may set the state record for consecutive wins. They've tied with the Central Bucks. 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 They've tied with the Central They're at 59 wins in a row. The 60th one will be when they they beat Stowe Rocks this Friday, and I know Jim's going to be so happy to see that. But there's another young gentleman that plays for Washington High School, and his name's Shy McKenzie, and he's getting set to break Rush Rochelle's state single-season rushing record. And you watch that game in the Double A, and it'll be pretty interesting. They are going up against a strong Aliquippa team. And Woodland Hills upset Upper St. Clair last Friday night, a game which I witnessed myself. And I love the underdog going up against North Allegheny, who's already won the last 2 Whippeal championships, and they're looking to be the first team to win 3 Quad A championships in a row. So we'll see how that one works out.
All I know is on Friday, I'll be at Heinz Field from 8 o'clock in the morning till midnight, covering all 4 WPIL high school games. And all I can tell you is this: I eat free when I'm there. All the cooks are black, so I'm going to be eating steak, I'm going to be cracking ribs, and I'm going to be eating omelets. That's all I care about, brother.
What about the football?
It's called Smoking Jim's Buffet.
I can vouch for that. It's not much of a stadium. They do put out a very nice buffet.
Oh, the food is good, man. I can't wait.
Yes, they do. Well, as I promised, 3 delightful young ladies. I have a very, very delightful young lady coming up right now, Miss Alexa Cipra. Alexa, come on up. Hi. Alexa is a very, very good young actress. She's done some auditions for us also. I believe that she will be picked for the cast of an upcoming horror film called 13 Bends, which is the story about an orphanage, I think somewhere up near North Huntington, that burnt down, and all the children killed there supposedly still haunt the area. That will be produced by Mr. Joe Shelby. Alexa, tell us a little bit more about the things that you've been doing.
Well, I'm in my school's drama club, which is like plays and like you do acting, which is really fun, and I like to act, and I just started acting and modeling. I'm hoping that I'll keep doing it because I really enjoy like acting. Like I love acting, I love modeling, I love all that kind of stuff. And I like do different hobbies. I sometimes go country line dancing, I swim, I help people. I actually donate sometimes I donate stuff to the food bank. So I go to the food bank.
All right. Oh, that's great.
Hey, Magic, she speaks well, doesn't
Yes,
she?
she does. Yes, she does. Some of you guys might be in trouble.
I think all of us are in trouble.
New co-host.
That 6th grade education of mine.
You're 11 years old?
Yes, I am 11 years old.
Was
November 13th.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Okay, and so now you've auditioned for us.
Yes.
You auditioned for the 13 Bends film, and some commercials.
Yes, I have auditioned for the. I auditioned for the
Eaton Park.
Eaton Park and the King's Restaurant commercial, and I auditioned at TNB Talent and Casting there for the
So
commercials.
you're signed with Terry Berselli, TB
Yes.
Talent. Good. And how's that going for you?
Good. I'm really enjoying it.
Well, like we asked Miranda, is Thanksgiving coming up? Who's the biggest turkey in sports?
Well, I'm a diehard Steeler fan. My favorite Steeler player is Heath Miller.
Good choice.
That's the Steelers' backup quarterback right now, too.
He's no
But-
turkey, though.
But the biggest turkey in sports has to be for me is Ben Roethlisberger.
Go ahead and Mike now. We don't need you.
Yeah, I'll give it up my chair.
Why is that?
Because whenever I'm watching the Steeler game, I'm sitting there and all he does is this. He doesn't throw the ball. He just holds the ball. And I'm always like, throw the ball, throw the ball. No, he never throws the ball. And he always gets sacked because he never throws it. That's why he's the biggest turkey.
Well, thank you. That's a very,
I
very
like this
good
girl.
observation. Since he holds on to the ball way too long, now his rib is threatening to puncture his aorta.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, thanks. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming up, and good luck with
Alexa,
everything.
very, very, best of luck in your career. Amazing young lady.
Well, Jim, you and I have covered a lot of boxing. We've seen a lot of great amateur fighters. We've got two of the best that we've seen in a long, long time up here. First, I'd like to bring up Andreas Comunero. How was that? Not too bad? Good. Thank you very much. Andreas, you had a great amateur career here. We watched you in the Golden Gloves. And now coming up next Saturday, or this upcoming Saturday, your first pro fight.
Yes, sir.
All right. Excellent. Yep. Tell us a little bit about that transition.
Well, I had a lot of experience leading up to this, of course. I fought in the Golden Gloves 3 years. And finally, in my third year of fighting in the gloves, I won it at the state championship level. Awesome. Went to nationals and I did pretty well. Won my first fight, lost my second by decision. And after that, I was going to make a decision to turn professional, but I decided to go out to Greece and try my luck. And I went and trained with the national team over there. And I was going to go and try out for the Olympic trials, go to the AIBA tournament. And they ended up not sending the team out because they had financial issues in Greece. And
what a surprise.
Yeah, what a surprise. But it was actually for Cyprus, for the Cypriot team. And they're actually an independent country, so they have their own system, but I guess it was just too small at the time. So I ended up coming back, took some time, worked at my gyro shop, my big fat Greek gyro. And then on my time off, my trainer kept in contact with me, and I would go to the gym and work out, and I was building myself back up. And with a little motivation and a kick in the butt from Muscles and from my boy Sammy Vasquez and his dad, Sammy Vasquez Sr., they woke me up and they got me back in the gym. And, I mean, I don't think I've ever trained this hard, so I feel great.
Where's your restaurant at? I've been craving gyros lately.
Well, which one? We got a...
How many? You got one down in Peters Township?
Yeah, we got the main one's in Peters Township, the original. Okay. We have 6 stores. We have one, the newest one just opened in Market Square.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
yeah, it's nice, very nice. And then we have Mount Lebanon, White Oak, Cranberry, Wexford, all over.
And is your training method with the gyro, just the meat?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Or what's the story with that? Because you look in great shape.
I mean, I'm in
and I
pretty
need
good
at my
shape.
advanced age, I want to know what I should be eating to be like that Greek god there.
He's selling them. He's selling them. He's not eating them.
And I'll help promote that.
Yeah.
The healthy diet for boxers.
Yeah, gyros for life.
So
copyright that.
Bob Healy, Muscles. And yeah, he's been with me forever. I mean, everything I learned. I can't give any credit to anywhere else. I spent some time down in Miami, Florida, and trained with some pros down there. And I picked up a lot from a good guy, Matt Biamonte. He was protege to Angelo Dundee, and he became a good friend of mine. And so he's coming up to help me in Muscles for this fight. So I got a good team behind me.
So who are you fighting?
To be honest, I don't know his name.
It doesn't matter anyhow.
I'll tell you
You're gonna go to sleep.
I got a good reason. The first guy pulled out for, I don't know, they pulled him out for some reason. And then the second guy pulled out because he YouTubed me or something. So the next guy, they lined up for me. Muscles told me his name. He sent me a message of his name, but I don't think I looked twice at it. I don't care.
So it doesn't matter. Well, I tell you what, my favorite fighter of all time, I think the greatest fighter of all time is Rocky Marciano. And nobody goes to the body like Andreas and Rocky. I tell you what, if you want to see somebody wear somebody down to the body, check this guy out, man.
Saturday night,
if you want to come see
Where's
somebody wear somebody out Saturday night.
Come on.
Ross Traver.
Okay.
Ross Traver Ice Gardens. You guys got to come out. I mean, November 24th.
Would that be this
Don't ask him who he's boxing. That's enough of that.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. This is going to be the best event that Pittsburgh has to offer because Sammy Vasquez is explosive. I always love watching him fight. When we train together, I always pick up things from him. and he's just been going and getting great experience. And everybody knows, all my family, my crazy family, big Greek family, every time I fight, it's explosive. We bring down the house. So us two fighting on the same card together, it's going to be great.
That's awesome. Two very exciting fighters. Best of luck. Best of luck. You like boxing, this is a good night for you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, Andreas. Well, thanks a lot.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you, guys.
Good luck. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Good luck Saturday
And,
night.
you may see some of us down there.
All right, thanks. Hope to see you guys there.
Good luck. Have a good night. All right, well, we might as well just go ahead and follow up with that. Jim and Bob, again, we've watched Sammy Vasquez fight for a long, long time. He now has 5 pro fights, and he is right in the right weight class where all the big money fights would be as a professional. I'm going to go out, I don't even call it on a limb. I'm going to guarantee you that one day Sammy Vasquez will be a world champion. For sure. Sammy, come on up.
All right, Sammy!
Oh, who can? Who can? What is this?
And again, Sammy, tell us a little bit about your amateur career and your transition to the pros.
First off, if you don't mind, I'd like to tell my beautiful sister happy birthday. She just turned 18 today.
Happy birthday.
Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Where's the birthday cake at? Come on, we always have a cake for stuff like that.
Up to the Buffalo Bakery.
I started my amateur career when I was 9 years old. I'm 26 now, so it's been a long time. I've been on and off. I've won a lot of amateur fights. I probably got about over 200 now. And I went to the Olympic trials in 2008, and 2011, and I took the silver medal, and I should have won that. I went to the All Army and Armed Forces Championships. I won both of those when I joined the military. And before that, when I started training with Bob Hilly in South Park, that's when I started taking it really serious, and from there it just started always winning. And then I just started loving the sport, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to love when you're winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa, we've watched you fight. Always an exciting fight. Always a lot of fun to watch. But now you've transitioned into the pros. You've had, what, 5 fights now so far?
Yes.
How many rounds are you fighting?
This one's 6. This will be my first 6-round fight against somebody, George Sosa, who's 6-1 with 6 knockouts. Wow. So this will be my first stepping up to 6 rounds and stepping up as opponent as well. So I'm excited for it. I've been training really hard. I've been staying out in Colorado Springs. That's where I live with my fiance and 2 little girls. And I've been training hard with Adrian Broner, who just won the world championship, so 135. He's the #1 guy in 130 and 135 now. And I learned so much from being in his training camp and learning different techniques and what you need to do to be a world champion. And I'm definitely ready to go.
Yeah, with your training methods out there, how many miles do you run in that mile-high mountain range?
6.
And that's each day?
Yeah. I do 6. I'll do 6 miles, 6 to 8 miles long distance-wise, at least once a week. And then I'll do 6 miles, I'll do 3 miles, and then I'll do 25 sprints between 10 to 15 miles an hour at a 10% incline on the treadmill, like 10, 15 times in between those 3 miles, and then run my last 3 miles after that.
And what kind of difference do you notice when you come back here to the lower levels here?
Huge difference. Huge difference.
You have more endurance, like they say?
A lot more. Well, yeah, a lot more.
I'm sure the air doesn't smell like it does here either.
No.
Hey, it's fresh Pittsburgh air.
No, the training out there is, it's phenomenal. It's coming back, going back home, and then starting training again. Even if I'm in shape, it's like starting all over again because you're not getting as much oxygen as you do here, at sea level. So it's like it's still hard, but coming back, you're just on top of the world. I can go 12 rounds.
Yeah, I've been to Denver several times, especially for the Colorado State-Colorado game. Haven't been there in the last couple of years because I got sickle cell traits.
You didn't lose any organs,
Are
though.
you sure you're
Your
not
organs got bigger.
Are you sure
That
you're
isn't
not
supposed to
concussed?
happen. How long did it take you, Sammy, seriously, to get into shape where you could do the 6 miles coming from here? Or were you in better shape being in the military, the 2 tours you served?
No, not during the military, but working, just living there and working out is 2 different things. You know what I mean? When you go there and just live there, you walk around, you'll still feel it. You know, but then if you work out there, it's 10 times worse. So I would say at least 2 to 3 weeks before you actually get in the Colorado air shape, you know, and that altitude up there. So it takes a while, but once you get there, you know what I mean, it's not as hard as it was getting there. But don't ever get out of shape, because trying to get back into shape is...
Thanks. It's too late for me.
Again, like I said, we've seen you fight a lot. We've also seen that you've got about 300 people that follow you around. You have pretty much a rock star status with these people. Where is your crowd come from?
Just from... Well, first off, I mean, I went to 3 different schools. You know, as I was growing up, you know, I went to Charleroi, I went to Bell Vernon, and then I graduated out of Monessen. You know, so I have a lot of people that know my huge family that I have. You know, which is enormous. You know, my father's one of 14, and so you know, they have I got a huge fan base from them. You know, if it wasn't from them or for them, you know, having friends that they do and they come and check me out, when they do check me out, they have a blast, because that's all we're about. We're having a good time and staying family oriented. You know, it's.
What's this team?
It's Team Vasquez, man.
Okay, just checking.
That's what we do.
I saw a fight this summer in Green Tree. I think you were up there, and there were babies coming up there.
Yeah.
There were old folks.
We're up to I believe the oldest family member, team member now. You know, because everybody a part of our team's family. You know, so is 91, I believe. Wow. So
is that true?
He'll be coming to the fight. He'll be there at the fight.
We've heard a small sample, but just to make sure. Anybody out there come to see Sammy? Or
Sammy! That's what I heard. Sammy! I thought I heard that before.
Did any of you come to see me?
No.
Okay.
And I tell you, Sammy, your dad is the youngest looking dad I ever seen. I always thought he was your brother. I never.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
I always thought that.
Let's get the Vasquez Spadafora fight on.
Oh!
They're afraid of him.
Wow.
There we go.
Let's go. Put his record up. I'll take Sammy every day of the week.
There's Team Vasquez. There we go.
I don't have
We'll get you on
a steady
stage
manager yet. Promoter-wise, it's not steady, but we're working with A&D Promotions with Chuck Bailey. And so we're getting we're trying to find a way, you know, to hook up and start getting the progress going here and get the ball rolling, because I'm ready for, you know, Atlantic City, Las Vegas. I want to get up there now, because I've seen some guys. I've been up to Atlantic City this past weekend and watched a fight, Adrian Broner's fight, and some of the guys on there, I was disappointed in some guys, because I should be there, and I know that I can, you know, get rid of those guys.
How many fights you fight a year?
Yeah, right.
How many fights you fight a year?
In a year, I mean, I turned pro in April.
Okay.
April, and I'm 5-0 now. So,
okay.
You know,
Right.
I just gotta.
You stay active.
Yeah,
I like that.
I gotta stay active, because I mean, I'm not signed with nobody yet. So this is all the money I make. You know, on my fight. So, you know, I have a family to support. You know, family's number one. So if I don't do that, I gotta go get another job or something.
Don't get that other job yet. Let's win the fight Saturday night.
Yeah. I got to answer the gentleman in the crowd here. I like Paul Spadafora. He's a great guy. When he's not having you know, his problems and stuff, he's a nice kid. I think he's a great boxer. But he's got intelligence issues, maybe, because first off, apparently he can no longer read what his contract said, and then on the other hand, anybody that will put their fate in the hands of Yankelos is a moron, because those are the worst promoters in the history of this game. They will ruin his career. They will ruin him like they ruined Monty Clay and every other fighter that falls in line with them to make money for themselves. They'll kill them. And you know, no offense if you're hooked up with them, but those are people that you absolutely need to stay away from.
I'm not lately.
No, I don't have no. I mean, I don't have no ties with those guys, but you know, Paul Spadafora, you know, regardless of things that, you know, happen in his life, you know, and I do believe he is a great defensive boxer. I mean, he was on top for a reason. You know, he's still 44-0. You know, regardless, you know, he's still great. But I have nothing bad to say about the guy. He's a great guy, and I can learn a lot from him still. You know, because his defense is you know, on point. So and I've tried to get in touch with him to you know, talk to him and go over things like that, because, you know, to me, regardless, you know, whatever you do in your life, you know, you do, but there's still good things in people, you know, you find them, you know what I mean? And I forgive everybody, you know, so everybody, you know, has issues, you know, and whatever happens in their life happens, you know, you just got to just stay positive, you know?
It's a good attitude. It's a great attitude.
And Sammy, your fan base is really going to go through the roof when all the brothers get out of jail from Menneson.
Again,
Free my boy Beans.
we hate to put any added pressure on you, but like I said before we brought you up, I guarantee that you'll be a world champion.
The next
I'm
world
looking forward
champion
to
out of
seeing. I don't know
Menneson,
about
huh?
the next one, but you know,
Why
it'll
not?
take some time. But
Why
I believe
not?
we'll get there. I should have asked Andreas this, but who do you think is the biggest turkey in sports?
To be honest with you, I don't watch, because I don't have time to watch sports that much. Because, you know, I train all the time back home, and I got, you know, family, stuff like that. But I'm gonna have to say my opponent that's coming here. He's gonna be the best.
That's it. Good for you. Good for you.
Speaking of opponents, now I know that Floyd Mayweather would never, you know, fight you because first off you're male, and he's pretty big on beating up his like girlfriend and her kids. But yeah, I think that you know, having watched him fight a lot, I know that he ducked Spadafora a few times, and he's on his way. He'll be gone before you get there. But who, you know, what champion would you put your eye on? Who would you like to fight when you get to that level?
There's a couple guys. I would like to fight Amir Khan. You know, I think that would be a good fight. His chin's suspect, but yet mine's yet to be tested. So, you know, you never know. But I think I got a pretty solid chin there. Timothy Bradley. Manny Pacquiao might be gone by the time I get up there. Anyways, you know, you got a lot of other priorities. Being as a, you know, a congressman or whatever in his own country. So a couple of those guys, all the top guys. You know, everybody wants the top guys. You know, but you have to be somebody to fight those guys. You know, that's the issue right now.
I hate to like emphasize a little bit more. Not only is Amir Khan's chin suspect, I think it's been convicted a few times.
Yeah.
He's getting pretty soft. I think he does have a pretty decent fight coming up. We'll have to see if he can bounce back.
Yeah.
But I think that would be a nice fight. I'd love to see that myself. And again, everybody that's watching, everybody that's here, well, all the people here can probably be there anyway.
Oh, yeah,
but Ross
guaranteed.
Straver Ice Gardens, Ross Straver this Saturday night. Would love to see you. Sammy, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, Sammy.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
All right, well, keeping with Thanksgiving, Al,
Hey,
who's your
Mike.
biggest
Hey,
turkey
come
in
on.
sports?
We got one guy making his last fight ever, Masters Division World Champion. He promises this will be his last fight. He's had more
Well,
last
sit
fights
down
than
for a
Muhammad
minute.
Ali.
Get him on camera.
More like a fight than Muhammad Ali.
But we got to get him up here
We're
before it's
stuck
over.
on time right now, but first tell them who you are.
Bob Haley, head coach at the
Muscles.
Park Boxing Club. Yeah. And Andreas is Sammy's trainer. You know, like you say, these guys. Sammy's out in Colorado, but like I say, I'm always going to be part of his career, like regardless because of the relationship we have, and the same with Andreas. You know, these guys, two different stories. You know, they first met Andreas when he was a 14-year-old kid. It was a wrestler, really didn't know how to stand and hold his hands up, and one of the most devastating punchers around, as Jim will tell you, and watched him grow from a boy to a man. Sammy's a guy who fought 6 wars with 2 of my guys, 2 other state champs, Mark Daly and Jesse Lubash, and And Sam realized if you can't beat him, join him. So he come on over and started training with me. No, I'm just kidding there. But they had great matches. But when Sam came out, yeah, he really started to take it serious, and he's been a pleasure to coach. And
Muscles, we're gonna ask you to come back next Monday if you can.
Sure,
We'd love to have
sure.
you come back.
Well, who's the
There's a
Masters
lot of
fighter?
things
I
I'd
just
like
want
to-
to give a shot. Johnny Ledaski, stand up, Johnny.
Come on.
My man,
Come on.
Johnny!
Thanks, Mike. I can't
Johnny,
see him on
Johnny,
camera.
come on up for a minute.
1 second. I'm going to talk to you.
So,
I'll be fast.
say your name.
John Ledaski.
And this is your last fight?
Yeah. What the
How many times have you retired before?
7. 7.
Let me tell you what. Sugar Ray Leonard ducked me for 20 years. Every time I was getting ready to get out of the Navy, he'd retire. Every time I re-enlist, he'd come out of retirement. So, that's
The Masters division is guys 35 and older. Instead of playing darts or eating wings, they like to fight. There's cops, firemen. There's a lot of people. I won the Ohio, won West Virginia, Golden Gloves, ringside world championships. And like I said, when you help train kids, they listen to you better when they see you fight.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? If you tell a young kid something, they're like, well, how do you know? You know, but when they see you fight, it helps with everything. And like I said, I assist Muscles. And like I said, he's just a good guy. The kids, I mean, they're ready. Like I'm calling them kids, you know, because I'll be 40.
That's incredible.
But like I said, it keeps you right, keeps you living right, and I said if you can do it, why not? You know, I tell everyone, if you come in the gym and work out, give it one shot. And this Masters thing's big now. There's national championships, there's, you know, guys.
Just to interrupt you, this doesn't sound like your last fight. You're selling me that you're fighting the next fight after this.
It's either
Muscles. You're right.
It's either that or I'll be single. So
Johnny, you get to fight and be single. That's a plus.
Thanks.
Good luck to you.
Good luck. Al, biggest turkey in sports this year.
Jose Tabata.
Why? We already know, but
There's a guy that he had a hamstring that would bother him when he's out in the field, but yet he could go hit the ball, and then he couldn't run to first base. Then he'd get on first base, he'd get thrown out. And he was the next Roberto Clemente, and it didn't happen.
all right. Smoking Jim, biggest turkey in sports.
Clint Hurdle.
Clint Hurdle? All right, that doesn't really require an explanation, but go ahead.
No explanation needed.
Too much gum chewing.
Chip, biggest turkey in sports.
Jerry Jones, owner and general manager of the Dallas Cowboys. He got himself a position he can't fire himself from.
That's his team.
Yeah.
Well, my biggest turkey in sports, Donald Fehr. This guy ruined baseball. He's the leader of the NHL Players Union. He's trying to destroy the NHL. I think he's going to find that hockey players actually like to play, and that's probably not going to help him too much. I believe he'll be fired after this is done, but he's going to drag it out for as long as he can. He's going to try to destroy the season, end the season, in order to do away with the salary cap. It's not going to happen. The NHL, I believe, will start playing in January. Thanks for coming down to Level 20. We had a great show tonight. A lot of great fans, a lot of great guests.
Thank you to all of our guests.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week. Happy Thanksgiving.
And happy birthday, Bria. We didn't get to sing happy birthday.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've got 30 seconds left. They just told us. 30 seconds. Come on. Where's she at? Get up there.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bria. Happy birthday to you.
There you go. Yeah. Team Vasquez.
The American Legion, we're a powerful force for the nation. We work relentlessly within our 4 pillars of service, and we succeed. Go to Legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.